And let's be frank, 99.9% of the situation, unless you are fulfilling the games yourself, that package will never be touched by you. It will only be touched by other people that you do not control. Whether it's the factory in China, whether it's going to be a local fulfillment hub that's going to put it in picking and packing, whether it is going to be whoever it's going to be, it is not going to be you. This is not a web shop. This is crowdfunding. This is not you, a multi-billion-dollar company that can click a button and send you an extra game for free just because you complained online and I don't want. It costs me more to come and dispute you than to ship
My
you.
box is dented.
Yes, exactly. My box is dented. But you want to be able to control it as a creator.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another awesome episode of Crowdfunding Nerds. I'm your host, Andrew Lowen, and I am joined by Konstantinos Manos, who is not Sean, but he's sexy and Greek. He's not Irish. That's the only difference.
Thick accent, right? But yes.
Yeah. So Konstantinos is he runs Hive Interactive. He runs Vesuvius Media, which is a board game company that has fulfilled like 17 Kickstarters or something like that.
21.
21. Holy cow. Yes. My stats are old. And now, I mean, he helps as like with all sorts of different companies, not only as a pledge manager, a guy that actually runs a really solid pledge manager. You're like a very gifted computer programmer, and but also like fulfillment consolidation and like helps creators not lose lots of money, myself included. So I'm a client of his. And so today we're going to talk about fulfillment nightmares and how to avoid losing tons and tons of money when fulfilling. Generally, what can go wrong will go wrong. So we'll talk about how to prep how to not be an idiot, how to prep your audience for what may go wrong, myth busting of all the things and more. So really, no matter your experience, you probably want to listen to this if you ever plan on sending a package that originated somewhere other than, your home country, I guess.
Yes, exactly.
So yeah, you definitely want to buckle up and get ready. I'm already scared. You want to start us off?
So yes, I think that we need to throw a disclaimer here. It's gonna get scary a lot, but everybody is safe in the end. So take a breath. It's gonna be a roller coaster, but we need people to get to start training them and be aware, to know to ask the right questions, to filter the information they're getting objectively and through their own needs and their own the projects and their own businesses actually needs, and not whoever they are talking to, their needs and their efforts to keep them as a customer or as a client. Okay, so I will start with a basic foundation that whenever you talk to a fulfillment hub, you have to shop around, you have to listen to different point of views, you have to ask more people. Doesn't matter if they are reputable, doesn't matter if they have fulfilled 1,000 campaigns before you. No one is gonna tell you that the best option for you is to work with somebody else. This is something that you will have to figure out on your own, and you cannot figure out on your own unless you knock on 10, 12 doors. This is also why when you work with us, we tell you from the get-go, we do not do fulfillment. We do fulfillment support. We teach you how to handle the fulfillment. We do not have exclusive partnerships with hubs because we shop around. That's very important. Let's start from the beginning, and that should be a practice you have in anything you do in the business, whether it's fulfillment, whether it's place managing, whether it is crowdfunding platforms, whether it's manufacturers, distribution partners, localization partners, everything. Do not just go like a fly to the big light. You're gonna get burned.
Yeah. And now if this is you, if you feel like you are the person that knows nothing about fulfillment and you're working to launch a crowdfunding campaign and you're going to need to fulfill, you should work with Konstantinos if you're and his company if you're not if you feel like you're going to be coming into this not knowing enough, just go to crowdfundingnerds.com/hive and sign up there. talk to Konstantinos. You're gonna have the opportunity to maybe even book a call with him, and your life will be made easier.
Generally speaking, talk. Yeah. Even if you don't know to talk to us, talk to people. Do not talk to people that are selling the services. Talk to the people that have used the services. Listen to their stories. What we're going to go through today, so that you can understand that nothing is peachy. Crowdfunding is a very rough business. It's highly competitive, and it is all built on international rules that, especially in the last 5 years, 6 years after the pandemic and the war, and one thing after the other, pandemic, wars, tariffs, whatever is happening, everything affects your business, everything. So most of the people do not know what they're doing, because things are changing so fast that you are pretty much spending time adapting, learning the rules. Right now, for example, EU and US are putting new regulations for import that start from August. People are scrabbling left and right to do what's happening. Tariff refunds. People are trying to figure out what's happening and how we can get them. It's not a button. You have to actually hire a lawyer to apply for them. There's so many things that you can't get to one source of truth. Talk, knock on the doors. Do not go on this alone, and do not trust only one person. Ask around and gather information.
Yeah.
So that
absolutely.
So ready to go discuss some horror stories?
Oh yeah, let's dig in. Maybe we could start with myth busting. So there are some people listening to this that have never done this before, but think it'll be like shopping on Amazon. And we just various degrees of misunderstanding. So let's correct some of those. Right.
So let's start with the first thing, point of view. Most creators have never dealt with international fulfillment. They have never dealt in their everyday life manufacturing something in one country, moving it to another so that it can ship to a third country, for example. Okay. And they are exposed to a regular go on Amazon, buy something, go on a website, buy something, and they know, they're very familiar to that process that has the illusion of control, because you're gonna order something, after a day or two the order is gonna switch to being processing, then you're gonna get it has shipped, and you get a tracking number, and the tracking number looks like it is moving along, and you see something, and then it gets delivered to your door, and you feel like you are in control of the information, you are on top of things. Truth be told, even for that simple situation, you're still not in control. We all have seen TikTok videos and YouTube videos of FedEx employees throwing the package from their car into your door, then driving on top of it, and there goes your glasses, there goes your phone, there goes your board game, and you lose your mind. So even that thing that feels like you are in control, it is not. And now you can see it as a recipient of a service, where you can go and whine, complaints, open support tickets, and people, bigger stores, which are usually the 90% of the traffic that happens in web shop, or if you throw through Amazon, it's Amazon themselves. They will give you a full box back. They will refund you everything. They will treat you well. Well, now you have to change point of view. Now you need to be set up for you to be the person that's going to be giving that service. You need to understand that the people expect from the other side to get that service. And now you are liable to everybody else that is touching your package, that it's not you. And let's be frank, 99.9% of the situation, like unless you are fulfilling the games with yourself, that package will never be touched by you. It will only be touched by other people that you do not control. Whether it's the factory in China, whether it's the freight forwarder that's going to load on a boat, whether it's going to be a local fulfillment hub that's going to put it in picking and packing, whether it's going to be a local driver that's going to drive on top of it, whether it is going to be whoever it's going to be, it is not going to be you. But if you go in and you do not train your backers, you do not give harsh, crystal clear risk and challenges, terms and conditions on the way you operate, so that people understand that this is not a web shop, this is crowdfunding. This is not you, a multi-billion-dollar company that can click a button and send you an extra game for free just because you complained online and I don't want. It costs me more to come and dispute you than to ship
My
you.
box is dented.
Yes, exactly. My box is dented. But you want to be able to control it as a creator. Now, the first thing that we have to switch is the point of view. All those horror stories that you see on YouTube can be your own horror stories. We have people that, when we did the Catapult Feud campaign, we had people that posted us. They sent us their camera video from their porch, and they could see the package being stolen in front of their eyes. Okay, they were not at home, and the guy came, pick it up, and go. What can I do? I cannot do anything at that point. And there were people that were coming and they were requesting us to give them a refund or to ship them a new one without paying anything. Man, and then you go and check better the video because they actually, not everybody's as smart as they should be. They send you the raw video and then you see the date. And the date is the package. The date was changing, and then the package was sitting on the porch for 2 or 3 days. He was in vacation. He never called. So the day that the courier company came was different than the day it was stolen. And you say, man, what do you want me to do? But still, they want it. Still, they're going to go and comment. They're going to say that you are bad. You don't have a good customer support. So these are things that you have to be mindful during whatever process you are setting up. And this is part of your risk and challenges and your terms and conditions. If you don't make it clear to the backer, you're opening up your door for many, many disputes, which we're going to wreck you in the process. $10 here, $20 here, 30, 150. If it is a full box, things are going to get way too messy and way too expensive. What happens if that was a remote location? It was in Mexico. It was in Brazil. A package that might cost you now $200 just the shipping cost. What happens if you don't have any stock left at the local hub to send a replacement? So you need to be crystal clear with that.
So one of the things I always thought that I would do right from the very beginning was that I would, back in 2021 when I started my Kickstarter campaign, or when I was getting close to it, I decided I was going to be a company that would always err on the side of my customers, because you always want to, you laugh. This is, of course, this is what you want to do. You want to err on the side of, caution. You want to make sure you treat your customers that their complaints are legit and that kind of thing. That was the old me. The new me is like, yeah, customers, there are like 95% of your customers are going to be good. They're going to be like for example, I ordered something from Restoration Games. I got their Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Unmatched, and the box actually has a hole in the bottom, but it kind of stinks. Like, I wish it didn't have a hole, but it really doesn't impact the like strength of the box. It doesn't, the gameplay, the insert covers it. It's not like it's an actual gameplay thing. So I have it here, and I'm like, if I sent this back, they would probably, I took a picture. It's a legit hole that was made in shipping somehow. They would probably take it back, restock it, send me a new one, and then maybe mark that one as damaged or whatever. That would cost them about as much as it would cost just to send me a new one and have me keep the old one. It's a pain in the neck.
Or better yet, give you a full refund of your pledge and be done.
Yeah. So it's actually a very expensive, time-consuming thing. But for the principle of the situation, they kind of have to take it back because they don't want everybody getting a package, denting it, and then saying, I need my money back, right?
So as you said, the majority of the packets are going to be good. The problem is the 5% of the packets that are not.
These are the people that return their Christmas trees the day after Christmas.
Yes. They're going to cost you. These are the people that are buying a dress, wearing it once with the tags, and then returning it the next day, or even shoes, or even underwear. Okay, so they do exist, and they do exist in our crowdfunding space as well. We had a person that, that's it. That's a story. So they send us, they opened at the same time a ticket to us and to our localizing partner. They said to us, guys, I received the box, but it had no meeples inside. And it had no cards. It has the rule book, it has the box, and sent us photos of the rule book and the box, but it had no meeples and no cards. So immediately we said, okay, that was a factory error. We would have sent them one. We didn't do it immediately because sometimes, depending on what country and who it is, we do monitor emails, and you should be doing that the same. They send an email to the localization partner. I got the meeples and I got the cards. I didn't, but the box is damaged and the book is also dented. Can you send me just the box? The photos he used in both cases were from BGG. And that's how we figured it out. So he was going for a free game by asking half the content from the localization company, the local partner, and half the content from us, the Kickstarter account. Just to give you an idea, and that can be a remote location where you have extra shipping costs and everything else. And that is not an odd case. Like, these things happen, okay? You need to be nice.
And that person, when you tell them like, hey, you're like, this isn't okay, we're not gonna, they're gonna be like, I'm never gonna shop here ever again, and I'm gonna tell everybody what a terrible person you are. Good. It's like somebody at Walmart yelling, I'm never shopping here again. And it's so many stories of cashiers saying, and then they came in the next week and pretended nothing was wrong.
It feels weird for you to do that. To what I'm gonna say now, it's like to actually keep a blacklist of backers who, as soon as they back in Kickstarter, you drop their pledge before anything. They back in the highest tier, you just drop them. And if they complain, sorry, I'm not working with you anymore. I know it sounds weird. They can always go open another Kickstarter account and do whatever they want to do, right? That's this. But for your sanity of mind and showing that, look, I'm going to be fair, but if you try to screw me, that's it. I draw a line. I don't accept bullying. You are a bully. You are not a good customer. I'm not serving you. Cluck. Yep. I'm not shipping to you. No, sorry, my friend. Go buy it from a retailer local store. They're going to buy it. Go find it on eBay afterwards. Yep. So it sounds weird, and it could have issues with how you word things and how you behave. But at the end of the day, you need to fortify yourself by things like that. So better have harsh terms and conditions, harsh risk and challenges. Do not try to be completely nice. You can be nice after the fact. Yeah. So that you are local, you are true, you are solid. And then when they call you, give them a free game. But at that point, you are doing them a favor. You are breaking your own rules to help them. You are standing now in a different position of power and control. And this is such a small thing that most people dismiss, but it is important to have. Your worst case scenario will be your best case scenario. Your worst case scenario, you will not see it at 150, 200, 500, 1,000 backers. You will see it at 4,000 backers, 5,000 backers, where the 5% percentage is not an amount that you can cover from your own pocket. Mm-hmm. Okay, and now we're going to go to add another aspect to that fulfillment that you as a creator have not thought of, because you are experiencing only the last mile. That's what you have been doing in your entire life. Mm-hmm. And now you need to internationally deliver a product from a country of manufacturing that's completely different from what you have to deliver it. From the moment that the factory finishes the product until it is delivered to the backer, you have the following situations that you do not control. First of all, even if you got a mass production copy, MPC, you are not sure that all copies are the same. They will not be. Let's start with that. Okay, there's always a 0.5% to 1% point of failure in all manufacturing process. Then the factory will put them into cartons. The cartons will be put on pallets by the factory's warehouse. You already have 2 or 3 different people now that are touching your product. Mistake can be in the assembly line, so the box already doesn't have enough things inside. Then somebody put the boxes inside cartons. We have open cartons that say X game and has Y game inside. We just open cartons. And just for the horror story, let's give you a small hint. We opened the cartons in Greece.
Yeah.
The carton said Catapult Feud game Dino Pack. We opened the cartons and it has puzzles inside.
Oh no.
That is after it was loaded in China. 1.5 months on the boat, having paid customs and taxes and everything to import it into the country. It is like, so that you can understand also that all the security, all these C certificates and stuff, they are all relying on processes that cannot be fully, nothing can fully work. Like imagine that we imported product with the wrong papers. If there was a random inspection at the customs and somebody opened the box, we were done as an importer of record because we lied to the customs authorities, right? But even they missed. The reason I'm mentioning this is because most of the discussion we're going to have from now on is for everybody to understand that you cannot control freight fulfillment. This is not something that it works the way you think it works. So you need to be there with clear head, not panicking, control to address the situation. So you open the container, you see the pallets, you open the carton, wrong box inside, wrong game. Yeah. Two things are happening at the same time. First of all, there is another creator someplace in the world that was expecting puzzles and he finds Catapult Feuds inside. Because, yes, okay, that's exactly what happened. Then we have puzzles instead of games. What do you do? Now you have to talk again to the factory. Somebody's going to have to bear the cost. But let's be frank. The damage that you have right now, what if that was a month before spill, SN spill, and you're done? What if it was your Kickstarter fulfillment stock? Now you have to wait 2 months. First of all, you have to locate your product because the good case scenario is that it is already, it's still back at the factory. They put it in the wrong cartons. But if they put it in, gave it to the wrong publisher, then somebody else has your games. They could be anywhere in the world. What are you going to do? You're going to bring them back? Who's going to pay? The factory that made the mistake? How are you going to manage all of this situation? You have to be on top. Horror story. And now we're still in the second person that touched your game. The first one did the assembly. He could put wrong content inside. You have seen that. Missing rulebook, wrong number of tokens, wrong number of points pockets. The second person put the boxes in the carton. And we're just the beginning. We haven't even left the hardware warehouse yet. Then the cartons need to go on pallets. Then the pallets need to be picked up by a freight forwarder, the truck that will take them to put them to the port. Another horror story. You go, you have just irregular fulfillment, you're going to split your shipment into these games. You're going to say to your factory, I want this to be packed for US, this to be packed for Canada, this for EU, this for Australia, this for UK, and this to go to VFI for China fulfillment. So you have at minimum 5 or 6 different shipments. You get 5 or 6 packing lists with CBMs so that you can go to your forwarder and everything done correctly. Those 5, 6 shipments are not going to be loaded the same day. Whenever each boat is ready, they go 2 days before. A trucker is going to arrive. It's going to say, I was told by Hive or whoever you work with to come and pick up the Canadian shipment. And now there is a guy that doesn't touch your game, but he's looking at his pieces of paper and says, oh, these pallets here. And he shows them with his finger. If he points at the wrong shipment, there it is, your Australian stock in EU and your EU stock in the US and the US stock in Australia. Done. Done. You are going to learn that mistake 2 months later when the hub at the destination will receive the games and they're going to say, you told us that you're going to send us 100 games, but we received 50 or we received 500. What? What's happening? You will not know any of these things beforehand. Again, what do you mean? Somebody has to pay. Who's going to pay? The first one that's going to pay is you. You will have to immediately try to figure out a solution and have the money and the cash flow to bank it, to resolve it, and then go hunt down whoever factory staff and what they're going to give you. who have done this, not only small factories, like long pack.
Mm-hmm.
Open up the EU container, has inside the Brazilian copies. What are we doing now? Okay, but they cannot send you money. They will give you a discount in your next production. So that means that now you have to put the money from your pocket cash flow, because they will not be able to send you, for example, money. And that can be several thousand, tens of thousands of dollars to move that stock correctly around in time. Because if you choose to freight to take the long time, you just delayed your Kickstarter campaign for 2 months. If you decide to air freight, that's going to be $1,500 per pallet. Horror story. What I'm saying right now are things that have happened and are actively happening, and you will never be able to control it. The only way you can control it is you pack your things, you go to China, while they're packing, while they're delivering to freight forwarders, you are there and looking.
Yep.
Now we're talking about, we have
Bring
never
your
done
pillow
it.
and sleeping
Yes.
bag.
Yes,
You know?
10 years publisher, we have never done it. We have publishers that do it. Okay,
Yeah.
they cannot sleep better at night if they cannot go up there, and they do it. But let's be frank, unless it is you that is doing anything, you do not control it. Now, the truck picks it up from the warehouse. We still have not left the factory,
let me
right?
mention.
Yes.
Let me mention before you continue. This is like a lot of people listening to this. They oftentimes will say, I think my game is going to. I think I could make enough money by charging $50 for my game on Kickstarter, and they didn't actually go through the manufacturing and get a real quote and do the real equation, like what's the landed cost? Let's multiply that by 5 or whatever. There are ways to arrive at a correct price. There are ways to arrive at a good shipping estimate. Like for me, I estimated based on what I thought it would cost, and my costs are higher, but I built in margin for exactly that purpose. It's like basically 20% extra is the wiggle room that I have to make sure that if I spent 20% more, I'm still within my budget. And if it goes outside of that, then I have margin other places. But if you're like, early on, it was a worse problem than it is now, where people just say, I think if my game costs $10 per, I think I can sell it for $30 and be fine. Maybe you can be fine if everything goes well, but you won't have enough money to reprint. And if anything goes wrong, you may not have enough money in the bank to fix it. Yeah. So you can't rely on everything going right. You just, something here is going to happen to you.
We can't go down that path on the right pricing, but I think that's going to need to be a different podcast altogether. Or how do I go to correctly pricing my product for the retail? So let's keep all of the horror stories. So far, we haven't even left the factory. We are now leaving the factory. You already have several points of failure. And now we're leaving the factory. The tracker picked up the pallets and they take them to the boat. They go into a container. If you're working with us, we do freight consolidation. So it's not the tracker that picks up 1 or 2 pallets. We load the container in a specific warehouse, and then the container goes to the boat. There's 2 different cases, LCL and FCL. If it is LCL, where it's just pallets, then nothing travels on boats on pallets. You see, the boats are all loaded with containers. So your pallet, if you shipped on the pallets, will definitely end up in a container. The question is, whose container is that? What else is in that container? Is it open? Is it controlled by me? Does it have drugs inside? Does it have watermelons or llamas and giraffes? Who knows? Right? That's the idea here. I'm exaggerating a little bit so that I can make a point that when you work with us and we book a full container, we know what's in the container because it's going to be sealed and unsealed at the destination. Put an asterisk here. We're going to tell you another horror story that happened 2 weeks ago. And with container. Even if you work with us and we work with you to find a way to ship pallets, at that point, those pallets, we have no idea in which container it's going to be. And then there's going to be another person or business who is going to take all those pallets, put them in their own container. Then when it reaches the destination, we'll unload them from that container to deliver them to your destination. There is another person that you do never see, you never know who they are, black box again. So up until now, we managed to load something, our games or our products, on the boat. Whether it is through consolidation like ours, where the container is ours and we know what's inside, or it's an LCL where we have given to a freight forwarder and we have no idea in which container there is. A small, quick full stop here. Not full stop, partial stop. At this point, we have already identified several things that can go wrong. Your first reaction would be to go back to whoever you are talking to and hold them responsible for that. They are not. So I'm working with Hive. I'm working with EasySeed. I'm working with GamesQuest. None of those three have their own boats, their own ports, their own containers, and their own people that are going to load it and move it and pick it up. The only way that you can find one person to be responsible is if you control the full supply chain. That happens only in the biggest of companies in the world, and there are 4 or 5 families. It's close. You cannot even get there. It's another discussion for another podcast, another day. So you will definitely have to use other people, and you cannot control, and you cannot get anything of those. So here it is where you insure your cargo, and you have insurance for those issues. And now this is the big caveat.
Hey, crowdfunding nerds, if you're looking for an awesome fulfillment partner for US shipping, you should really consider Bridge Distribution and Fulfillment. I personally use them. I've used them for multiple projects. They do such a great job. They also can fulfill Amazon orders and get you prepped for Amazon and their warehousing team. I have been so happy using Bridge Distribution. I'm really proud that they're sponsoring us. If you reach out, bridgedist.com, that's bridgedist.com, let them know we sent you. All right, now back to the show.
The problem is that most people think as insurance in the Amazon bubble. And that's not what insurance is. They need to forget Amazon or big supply chain local stores that they don't care. They can ship you a game, a product, a full iPhone, and they don't care because it costs them $10. They sold it for you $600. To send you another one, it's going to cost them another $10 and they don't care. They forget that when you're talking to insurance, that's insurance companies. And there is no person in the world that had to deal with an insurance company and they got their money back. So this is the next thing I want to stop here and address before I continue with the horror stories, because at that point you will have a better context of what can I recover. When you insure anything, you only insure the actual cost of the product, nothing else. You can go and buy more insurance, which nobody does because it's extremely expensive, and now you increase the entire production cost and everything else. Okay, so the regular insurance that everybody buys insure you for the production of the game. So if you have a full container with 9,000 games and each game costs you $6, that's 6 times 9, 54, sorry. 6, 9, it's 54,000. That does not account for 2 months of production lead time. If this has already been loaded and delivered and everything is wrecked, freight costs, any taxes that you may have paid, tariffs that you have made, because remember, anything goes wrong, you learn it when it lands in a place where you are not even present because there's somebody else opening it up. So they could, in theory, even pack it and ship it to the backers if you use any of these services where they pick and pack everything in China. So you would learn it from the backers when it has even arrived in their house that they open it up and they see puzzles inside. Okay, so I know. So remember that all the extra these costs are not recoupable by the insurance company. At the same time, the insurance company will request from you proof of destruction of the games. What does this mean? That they will never pay you the 54,000 if the games are dented and then you get to deliver dented games, and then you figure it out how to. No, they will tell you, go, burn them, bring me proof of burning. Even to dispose stock, you need to pay somebody to do that. You don't get that money back. Okay, so that 54,000 is already like you get less money than to even do the same production from the factory. 100%.
Yep.
The same thing you should remember happens to you every day when you deal with car insurance, when you deal with home insurance, when you do with medical insurance. They fight you for every single, unless you are paying high premium special things that nobody actually does. Everything else, they're going to try to fight you back. And then from 54, they're going to realize only 30. And then they will cut down more. And then you're going to have extra costs. And at that point, you reach and realize that I don't need money back. You may be yelling. You may be trying to hold account on any of the freight forwarders or anything else. But you cannot. These are regular people that nobody will pick up the responsibility for lowest paid jobs on the planet right now. Truck drivers or people that are locking dog workers, we overwork them 24 hours straight for 2 days straight. These are the conditions that are working. You're not going to go to the work and ask your dues. It is what it is. They clicked the wrong button and the forklift went through your pallet. Yes.
Yep.
Yes, because I received a pallet 2.5 months ago. It came and had a forklift hole. It cured 6 and 6, 12 games. I took a photo. What are we going to do? Nothing. You're not going to
post it on social media and laugh about it. So you know.
Yes, so laugh. Like you're missing 12 games.
So you don't cry.
Yes, you're missing 12 games in the Canadian hub. If you want to restock that 12 games, they have to be shipped someplace else internationally. It's already way more money. And if you go for those 12 games times $6-7 per game, you're going to get $80 from the insurance company or from the tracker. Like it's going to get, here's $80. And then you have 12 backers that will not get the replays. The comments alone are not worth $80 that you gave the guy. So that's again, I'm trying to set expectations because people believe that, oh no, I'm entitled. You are, and I'm with you. Yes, of course, things should not be like that. But this is it. That's the way it is. And there is no solution out of that. There are services, of course, there are services that guarantee that they sign, they do, and they are boutique. That if I want to transfer my Picasso painting, I can hire a company and do it. You can go to EU, DB second, you pay 3-4 times the cost of a pallet that you would pay normally, and good for you. Are there companies that are using them? Yes. Board game companies? No. Like if I don't have an iPhone which costs $10-15 to produce and I'm selling it for 600, so I have times 60 margin, I do not. You do not have room there to pay to cover your ass in legal fees, in insurance fees, or anything else. Okay, and there are way too many people that simply you do not control. If you also use a service that is a black box for you, you hire somebody that's going to say, oh, don't worry, I'm going to come and pick up from the factory and I will deliver to your backers. You don't have to deal with anything. You don't have to deal with freight. You don't have to VATs, importers, or anything else. We're going to do everything for you. That's even worse. That's our point of view. Because at that point, you have even more people that you do not control and you're not in touch, that are touching your game, and you cannot speak to anyone. Do you have a peace of mind that you have only one person to yell at? Yes. Are you going to get your money back from that person? No. So if anything goes wrong, what do? You yell to somebody that's going to yell probably to somebody, but then that somebody is not going to just talk to a third one. And then the last one is going to be yawning to the fifth guy that maybe he's going to talk to the sixth guy that is responsible for the mistake that was happened. Every time, the more we do everything for you service you find, the more layers you are away from what exactly is happening. So that's why we like to work with hubs directly. When we work directly with Happy Shops, we have Anika on the phone. When we talk directly with the bridge, we have David on the phone. The CEO, who we know will get up from their office and they're going to walk down the warehouse and they're going to check it themselves. Not a big company who I have an account manager who's gonna call the warehouse manager, who's gonna call the employee, who's gonna call. We're done. Nobody cares there. You're just another book on a shelf. They don't care about you. So it is more work. You feel more anxiety because you're talking, you get juggling multiple points, but at least when something fails, you have it narrowed down, right? You know, when you know that Anik opens up or Dagmara in Green Logistics or Zatu or Games Quest, when you know the warehouse guy opens up and has a problem, then you know immediately that came from the factory. So you can pick up the phone and talk to the factory. If you're not talking with the factory directly, then you again lose it. I'm not going to go and work with Longpack ever, because I'm talking with an account manager who's talking to their boss, who's talking to somebody else, and then goes to another division for the warehousing, and then 50 people in trying to figure out what's happening. I prefer smaller factories when I have the phone call, the VP, not the account random manager that came in there. And I've met them. I saw them. We talk, we figure it out, get it done. And if something is wrong, the VP will stay while the rest of the people have gone home for holidays, packing my final boxes because they care about me. So I know that it sounds way more work, but at some point you have to try to fortify yourself in those different points of failures that you've seen. And you cannot do that unless you actually walk down there. That's why I say that when you work with us, we are not a fulfillment company. We don't do fulfillment for you. We're not GamesQuest. We're not Quartermaster Logistics. We're not ShipQuest. We're not that. We're not Mod. No, we work with all of those. So we're a click next to you, trying to tell you what's best for your product. Let's talk with this guy for this. Let's talk with the freight forwarder so that we know who we are talking to. Let's talk to the warehouse manager so we know who we're talking to. We know who touches our games. And we know that person at as close as we can get. Sometimes, again, you were gonna discuss a couple of things where we had the cases where we didn't even know what was happening, and then we also figured it out ourselves. Then you reach the point where now you landed in the warehouse. The warehouse, if you open the container, maybe you ship it to different destinations. That warehouse is gonna have to mix and match pallets, and then they go to the hubs. Then the hub is going to start picking up boxes, putting them in cartons, shipping them out to deliver to your backer. That's the only part that you as a creator are familiar already because you have been doing it all your life. That final part, somebody putting your game into a carton, giving it to FedEx, DHL, ACS, or whatever else is their local courier. That's the part that you know. The rest, you assume that it works with the same. I have a tracking number. I can see it. It was scanned. It moved. It went to the next country. It is coming closer to me. It's out for delivery. That doesn't happen in the previous part of the journey. And if you look at the journey as a whole, you're going to understand that the last mile shipping is the last week. The rest of the journey, it's a month and a half or more, 2 months. And that's the big black box for you. If you are not close, if you don't talk, if you don't understand who you are talking to, then it is an even bigger anxiety. There are no guarantees. You book a container to come. They come and pick it up, the container. They put it on the boat. The boat said it's going to leave on Friday the 16th. It leaves on Wednesday the 18th. Why? Because that's the way they want it to go. What are you going to do? Are you going to go yell to the Chinese port authorities? It arrives in the EU and the port is on strike. So they decide, I'm not going to waste time and money because I'm paying the employees. I'm going to go to the next port. Like I was going to Italy. I'm going to go to Greece and then I'm going to come back to Italy in a week or 10 days when the strike is going to be out. And you see on your tracker because now you know the container number and you can see the boat, and then you see your container going to another country that was not part of the destination. And it's your mind. You arrive at the US port and they're on strike for 3-4 weeks. And the cost is $300 per day after the first 3 days that you get for free. Who are you going to yell to? Who? Are you going to go create a fuss? You're going to get a ding into your account. You will never be able to import again without having a random inspection. And each random inspection in the US is $1,500 to begin with, without the extra delays that are at $300 per day that go on. So do you feel that you don't have rights? Yes, you don't. I know, but is anybody of the people that we are working gonna tell you this? No, they don't, because they want your business and they want you to feel safe and secure, and they're gonna do everything for you, and they're gonna be there, and they're gonna make sure. No, when shit hits the fan, you are left hanging, and that's the truth. When we took the phone call that the truck left the port, was going to the warehouse in the US, and the warehouse told us, like, guys, where is the truck? He booked an appointment an hour ago. Like, we have to leave in an hour, and nobody has come. And we're trying to find somebody. Because we did it ourselves, we managed to find the truck company. Sorry, there was an accident. The truck is in a ditch. 400 games, all of them dented. What do we do? What do we do? We have, this is 2 months later. This is 400. This is dented games. This is shipping, freight, taxes, everything paid, manufacturing paid. You go to the insurance, you're gonna get 2,800. That's not enough to do 1,000 minimum production, because you can't go back to the factory and order 400 games only, right? And who's gonna give you the 3 months back? You can complain, you can yell at what? The truck driver, somebody, whoever, some life happened. Now you may feel that you don't have rights. What do you have? You have to keep your brains. You have to keep your calm. Address this to the community. Be transparent and explain to them. At that point, you have dented games, so the game is playable. Not everyone is a collector. So not all games are dented that beyond whatever. So you go frankly and you tell them, guys, that's what happened. I'm gonna ship you dented games. If any of you wants to get a replacement for the box, unfortunately, you will have to pay the shipping. I will pay the production cost, and I will order specific copies from the factory. You can do smaller amount, just the boxes, not the content or anything else. And it's gonna take 2 months for you to get it, because it's gonna ship directly from China. Whoever wants it, do it. That's exactly what we did. 400 buckets, we sent 10 copies replacements.
Wow. That's amazing. So, I think that a lot of people listening to this, of course, hopefully you're sufficiently horrified now and scared. But one thing that is very, very like the real blessing in all of this are those 95% of customers that are good customers.
Yes.
That are going to say, I'm on this journey with you, and I trust that you, the creator, are doing your best, and we get what we get, and if you can make it better, then please do that, and if not, then I'm not a collector anyway. Like for me, I've got this box. It's like, it's going to go on my shelf. I'm going to play it. I'm going to have fun. All the content inside is what I really wanted. I have some things that are for display, but I pull those things out on a regular basis and I play them. They're not just there for me to look at. And so whenever I buy something, unless it's, like a Chip Theory Games $400 Elder Scrolls Betrayal of the Second Era, which is above me, I want that box to look good, but I feel like most of your backers are going to be understanding as long as you keep them updated.
And you are, and also we call this, this is something that most creators miss. And it has been told several times, we need to address it again. We call it approval by omission. 95% of your backers that are okay and happy with you will never post anything. The 5% that have a problem will post 100. Like if somebody has a problem, 99.9%, they will definitely post something. If somebody doesn't have a problem, 5% of them are going to go give you a good review. The rest of them will never say anything. They're going to be happy. They're going to be supporting. You're going to be seeing them coming over and over again, and you don't know them. Man, say something. I love your games. You see them.
See what I can mention. Be like, I
have everything. 100
times.
Where is your post? Where is your BGG rating? Go something? Say something. I don't do social media. I don't care for that or whatever. But if that guy gets one game with a missing pawn, he's going to be the first one to open a ticket. And if you don't respond in 21st round, he's going to post on Facebook. So that's something that's true. But at the same time, you cannot forget that this is also true. Mm-hmm. You cannot forget it. So most people are understanding as long as you are there and you are there to crisis manage and prove to them that you are losing your sleep so that they can get their gain. That's what people appreciate. They do not appreciate being ghosted, being informed after the fact, feeling that they are left, they paid money and now they are left into their own luck and whatever happens, happens and you don't care. So as long as you are involved, things can happen. Yep. The thing that you have to be prepared for is to understand that the same courtesy you're giving to your backers, you have to also expect from your partners and you have to expect from the industry, and you need to budget for things that you will not get your money back from.
Yep.
When you get the phone call from the warehouse in Poland, Green Logistics, and says, guys, we received these Keep the Heroes Out games, a 40 HQ container. But we don't have a receiving order. What do you want us to do though with that? Are you going to send us a backer list? No. What language is that? German. Like, these are for the German localization part. It's not ours. The freight forwarder, because he knew he talked something, missed, copy paste something in their own system, instead of sending the truck to Germany from Greece, they send it to Logistics in Poland. They paid from their own pocket the tracker to drive to Germany. Okay, but again, if you are panicking and you are a drama queen and you then you just lost 10 years of your life. Whereas if you take a breath, talk to the right people and figure out a solution, you will see it. It may have been your own mistake. Sometimes you copy packing list, you send the wrong packing list to a freight forwarder, you forward the wrong address, and then the entire pallets end up to the wrong location. And then you just made yourself $5,000 damage, $6,000 damage.
Yeah. Okay. I had a situation where during my first deliverance fulfillment, I got all of the stuff manufactured at Long Pack. I had a great experience the first time, and all of the freight forwarders picked everything up except for the UK and EU, which was being handled by, I won't name the company, but it was being handled by a company that was supposed to pick it up, but with the freight forwarder, not the fulfillment partner in that country, but the freight forwarder was supposed to pick it up. And they had sent me an email that requested, basically a packing list or something like that. They needed one more thing, or they needed me to resend it because something was different and I failed to do that. So they did not send me any reminders or anything like that. They just were like, okay, I sent the email. The monkey's off my back. It's on his now. It's his responsibility to do something. And I missed it for a little while. And then I followed up with Long Pack. I followed up with my various people, and followed up with the UK fulfillment house. And they're like, yeah, we don't have anything like on the way here at all. Like, I don't have any information. I'm like, well, it's been like 3 weeks. And so I finally get back and I go through my emails. I'm like, oh my goodness, maybe it was longer. It was like a month. And so then they're like, oh, here's the thing. Like, I wish you would have said something to me, but it was my fault. So they get it on the boat, and it gets there, 6 weeks later than everybody else is. And, like all of the other areas. And I decided that it would be a good idea to trust the fulfillment house that I elected to use for the UK to also send to the EU. Well, the UK fulfillment house decided that they would air freight everything to the EU. And I caught them right before they were going to do that.
At least you caught them.
Yes. And they were just like, okay, yeah. I'm like, what warehouse are you going to store the EU stuff? Like, how are you going to send it? Because I'm expecting that they're going to, they have a warehouse in Europe, and they're going to do the thing and fill the VAT and all of that to get into Europe. And nope, they were just going to air freight everything. It's like, this seems very expensive to air freight 1,000 packages into Germany and Poland and whatever. And I had like an emergency. I contacted Happy Shops and was like, please help me with this. And then, thankfully we managed to get all of the material for Europe freighted over. It was like $2,000 total to get it freighted over. And it was it would have been probably 15,000, 20,000 or maybe $30,000 to air freight everything.
Yep.
So I ended up spending $2,000 to get it there, and then last mile shipping was actually way less expensive than I was quoted from the other partner. And so it was kind of like stumbled into a happy little accident, and the EU backers got their products 3 months after everyone else. It's like,
nice.
But they weren't upset because I just kept them updated. I let them know. And I think this is where people really kind of go wrong is we as humans, we stress out. And you probably speak to this too, but we stress out when we have to give bad news. I don't like giving bad news. I love it when news is good, when people are happy, when everything is like, hey, clear sailing, you know, as far as the eye can see, we're on the right track. I see the North Star. I'm going the right direction. You love sharing that, but you don't like, oh no, you know, one country is going to get their stuff later. You want it, but it's so important to tell people that information when you have it, even if they get upset. There are people that were so mad that were, you know, 100%.
We had I will finish the fulfillment disasters with one more that's closer to home, like last year going to Gen Con. Not last year. Last year we used Bridge. The year before that, we used another freight forwarder, and I'm not doing that anymore. The 5 pallets left Bridge. Bridge loaded them. They sent me photos because now I actually ask photos for each loading. At the beginning, I wasn't. Now I'm asking, so I saw the photos. Then I myself, I was talking to my warehouse in Indianapolis for the Gen Con convention. They told me, yes, they came. We signed them. I saw the receipt, 5 pallets received, all cool, all nice, cool. I drive there myself to go pick the pallets up. I look at the pallets. They are not the same 5 pallets. 5 pallets left Bridge. Not 5 pallets arrived to the warehouse. Not the same 5 pallets. What did happen? Now that I understand is one of the pallets was bigger, taller. They decided to use a smaller truck to put it in. It wasn't fit. So they cut a little bit. It broke. They broke it apart. So then they had to stop in an intermediate warehouse. So from Bridge to the intermediate warehouse to be loaded, the cargo became from 5-6 pallets. But the packing list and the order said 5 pallets. The guy receiving it, the tracker said 5 pallets. So when the tracker went to the intermediate warehouse to pick up, he said, I'm here to pick up 5 pallets of Vesuvius media. Oh, there they are, Vesuvius media. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 6th, 5. He put 5 in, he left. That 6th pallet was never found. That 6th pallet was my booth pallet. Banners, floor, tables, 3D printed tables, TV, everything. I am at Gen Con. I only have games. Gen Con gives you penalties if you can see the floor, if you can see cartons, if you don't hide everything, don't make it cool and nice. Okay. And thank God I'm a day earlier. So I'm hitting Walmarts. I'm buying shower curtains that are black because I'm out of bed sheets that are black. At that point, you're not gonna find anything black. Mattresses, an actual carpet to put on my way. Trying to piece. It looked like literally that was a farmer's market. My booth. I'm a 10-year company going to the Gen Con. I have the hot game and I'm there literally with pinchers, these big pinchers trying to hold, because we had one banner that I brought with me from Canada just for some other reason. I had to cut it in half so that I can open it up and I can at least cover the back. Now, we're talking about disasters now. I never got any money. That booth pallet was more expensive than if it was product, because it had things that I cannot replace. It had 3D printed, custom painted statues that are $400 each mini statue that I had in there. They will take months to be produced again and be done. They never found, never got anything. And when you talk to the insurance says 5 left. Yes. 5 arrived. Yes. The guy at the warehouse, the last one, signed that everything was fine. Yes. Bye. Done.
Wow.
Am I gonna go now yell at the employee at the warehouse that you signed? How? He said, well, the paper said 5. I counted 5. How could did I send him the photos to tell him, look, these 5, and if they are not these 5, do not sign? I didn't do that. So is it my mistake? Could I have thought of it? No. Now I do. Now I take the photos and I send them the photos and I make sure that the ones that I receive are the same. But is anybody going to tell you that? Is anybody going to do that service? No. They are all going to come and pat you in the back. They're going to tell you good things to make you feel nice and safe. But the truth is, behind the scenes, it is a freak show. And if you don't expose yourself to that, then you do not have control. Okay, so that was the point I wanted to make. And if I want to also extrapolate one more extra and leave it here for the next time of the discussion, fulfillment also touches taxes implications. And I will give you a very quick horror story that says, okay, my pledge manager and my crowdfunding platform auto-remits VAT for me, so I don't have to deal with that. And because I started reading and it's so much, so OSS, import, VAT, stuff. Yes, okay, and you had everything paid by the pledge manager. Yes, good. And how are you delivering the games to backers? And there are 2 different options here. The first one, the happy person. Oh, yeah, no problem. I will send everything DTP from China so I don't have to deal with anything. Okay, so you double paid tax right now. I said, why? No, I didn't. Yes, you did. The pledge manager collected the VAT, or the crowdfunding platform collected the VAT and remitted all of it on your behalf. Yes? Yes. When you're going to be shipping from China, you said DTP, right? Yes. So you're going to pay also the tax to the fulfillment because they're going to prepay it on the package that's going to be traveling. Yes. So you're paying tax twice. That's when it clicks. Same thing. If I'm going to freight it, get it local and send it. When you do that, you don't have to pay the full amount because the DTP is the full amount of tax on the full actual retail price of the project. You have to pay VAT on the manufacturing cost. Still, that could be 20, 24%. This could be tariffs. This could be other things. If the money were collected and remitted, when you get that invoice, you can't balance it. And the reason people don't know, it's most of the creators are from the US or Canada. They have never dealt with sales tax, the VAT that's in Europe. And they don't understand that there is sales tax you collect, sales tax you pay, sales tax you remit in the end by balancing it out. The duties that we pay on customs are not remittable. You pay them, you're done. You put them in cost of goods. But the import VAT you pay when you go into EU or UK, it is remittable by what you have to pay at the end based on the sales tax of your orders. And this is a whole other thing that has to do with it starts with the fulfillment plan, and that dictates how you set up your crowdfunding and pledge manager platform, or what do you request them to do, because sometimes they don't support not remitting auto, or you have to click something that says, do not auto remit, give it to me because I have my own personal thing. And you are one checkbox away from losing $10,000, $25,000 just by one must click. So, and that's why I said, like at the beginning, you're just not looking for a pledge manager. You're not just looking for a fulfillment partner. You're not just looking for a manufacturing partner. You're looking for somebody that has done this and will actually tell you, do not work with me, work with somebody else. Do not do this, go do this with that. You need to shop around and talk. And we as Hive, we support just like you. We have consulting services to sit with you. They are very approachable because we definitely need to teach creators a healthier business, because we are creators ourselves, makes a healthier crowdfunding industry. If projects are failing in Kickstarter, then we're all screwed together. If the reputation goes down and the crowdfunding industry goes down, we're going to go down with it. So, but find somebody that has skin in the game. And skin in the game doesn't mean as a service. That's not skin in the game. They have never done it for themselves. They haven't run it for themselves. They haven't lost are they going to lose their sleep if the container ends up in the wrong place? Who's going to be calling? Do you have their phone number? Can you call them and waking them up at 2 o'clock in the morning? Because that's your time, different time zones. Something is going wrong in Australia and you are in US. That's a 12-hour difference. Who you going to call? You're going to send an email, which is going to take another 12 hours for them to read it, to reply to you while you're sleeping, another 12 hours, and to resolve a situation in Australia is going to take a week to exchange 3 emails. Again, true story.
Brutal.
Right,
man. Well, this was a terrifying episode, but honestly, there are some silver linings. Number one is you as a backer or as a creator do not have to be on your own. You can have the guy Konstantinos and his team, like I do, in my corner. You can have him in your corner. So again, go to crowdfundingnerds.com/Hive. You'll get the Hive Pledge Manager at 2% fee, 0% campaign fee, 0% setup fee. It's just a ridiculous deal cut. I don't even know how you barely make money on that thing, if at all. But shoot, it's such a great service, and all of the consulting and whatnot. I mean, it's incredible. And just to be able to save money by bundling product together with other board games, it's nice when your game doesn't ship with, barbecues or, animals.
It is literal strength in numbers. We do that with the factories, we do that with the freight forwarders, with the fulfillment hubs. The difference is that when you are alone, you're alone. But when you're part of Hive, because they know that all of the Hive creators were talking together, if they screw me, I will come to you, Adrian, and I will say, hey, you know what? Lockback did this. Happy Shops did that. Bridge did this. And then that's the strength that you get in numbers, which makes sense. Keeps everybody in check and keeps everybody respecting whether you are a small or a big customer, you have a voice. And that's important. We are not all awakened realms that make millions of dollars by using ... Okay.
Yep.
So I'm gonna leave it.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell everybody listening to this, if you feel sad, open up your Tabletone app and put on sad dungeon music. Pull it to dark and just sit in a room with all the lights off. Tabletone app, our sponsor. All right, guys. We will see you on the next episode, nerds. Sweet dreams.
Introducing the Crowdfunding Nerds Pledge Manager. Powered by Hive Interactive, our Pledge Manager has 0 setup fees, 0 campaign fees, and charges only 2% of your late pledges. It integrates with Hive Interactive, which means that you can get a special deal with your freight and fulfillment through their systems. We have used these systems ourselves for our own board game projects, and we highly recommend them for you as well. Make sure to scan the QR code or check out the links in the description for more. Or visit crowdfundingnerds.com/Hive.